Hello.
Hello.
Happy Valentine's. I see a bunch of those in the comments. Fantastic. Can you guys hear us okay? Are we good? Let us know. That would be great. Hello. Happy Valentine's Day. So we're basically celebrating Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day all today.
And we didn't know what color to wear.
So Sarah's got the Valentine's, I got the St. Patrick's, and we're just going to have fun. So welcome, everyone. My name is Aubrey Ellerbrock.
And I'm Sarah Congdon.
And we've got a couple goals in mind for today from our perspective. Number one, we're hoping you learn something new. So along those lines, if you're new around here, maybe been here just a couple months or less, drop a number one in the comments. We would love to know. Drop a number one if you're new. So we hope you learned something while you're hanging out with us. Number two is, I think that we are planning and hoping to kind of inspire you guys to try something different.
Yes.
And if you're like Miss Ellen, who I just saw, hi Ellen, who's been around for a long time, she's probably already made these. But if not, maybe if you've been around, look at all those ones. Fantastic. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Anyways, we hope that it inspires you to try something different. And then the third goal is that we want you to get the best deal possible.
That's right.
Why shop any other way?
Got some fun deals today too.
So we're going to talk about that too. So stick around. Why don't you talk about what your plan is for today? Mm-hmm. And then I also have a giveaway. And it is set up. I did it correctly. So I want to tell them the keyword after you talk about. Okay. Sarah doesn't feel good either.
That's okay. We're going with it. I'll be fine. So if I say something funny, Aubrey will correct me.
Yeah.
But so today I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit about trimming your block after you've removed it from the hoop. So after you've stitched everything, how do you remove the bulk from your seam allowance? And then after you've used our Trimmer by George tool to do that, how do you pin those blocks together? What's a good technique to do that? Mm-hmm. And we'll walk through all that in a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we dive into that, we like to do giveaways. We love giveaways. In fact, we have 2 ways to get free gifts today, plus the giveaway. And I was just telling Sarah before we started, the free gifts that we're going to show you and give you details on in a little bit. This is going to be our 4th and 5th free thing that we're giving away already in 2024.
Yeah.
And it's
a month and a half in.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
So you've come to the right place because we like to do that kind of stuff. So our key word for today is the word lucky. I could have gone coupon Valentine, but I went with lucky since we're going to kind of do a demo with some shamrocks today. So
that's right.
Should we switch cameras and get you going?
Do you want to do demo first?
Or should we show them? You tell me.
Let's do the demo first, and then we'll show them some of these goodies. I'm going to throw these down here.
All right. So we're going to switch over to the demo cam. If you guys have questions as we go along, let us know because Sarah's here and she can help you out. All right.
Okay. So here, I guess I'll show you guys the image of this block that you will see on our website, but this is our Lucky Charm block. It's just a cute little 5-inch, well, we're going to get into how you get this.
Yeah, we are.
In a little bit, but just a cute little Lucky Charm 5-inch block. Really sweet, easy to stitch. Good if you are new here. I saw a lot of ones in the comments of newbies. If you're new here, it's a great block to practice on. So I stitched out 2 versions, well, same version, 2 blocks of our Lucky Charm. And I just want to show you kind of the old way of trimming and then the new way of trimming. Mm-hmm. So
the way you don't want to do it?
Yes. Okay. So on this block, I hooped my Balizer, which is our batting and stabilizer combination. I stitched everything out and then I removed it from the hoop. But now if I want to take this block and join it to another block on any of those sides, I have to remove that Balizer right up to the basting stitch. So how we used to do this before we came out with the Trimmer by George tool was we would take just an acrylic ruler. Now this is actually my Trimmer by George, but let's just act like it's an acrylic ruler. And I would take my acrylic ruler and I would lay it down and kind of fold back the fabric on the front of the block. And then I would get as close as possible without cutting in to that fabric on the front. Then I would use a rotary cutter and just trim that away. Watch me do this perfectly.
I know you probably did.
So inevitably, when you're doing this, you're going to take your acrylic ruler and lay it down, especially if you have a fabric like I do that's kind of close in color to my Balizer.
Mhm.
And you are going to trim into the front of your block here. And then you will have a block that you have to restitch. No one wants to
Nobody
do that.
wants that.
No one wants that. So you can kind of see
A boo-boo.
I did trim into it there. But that's not fun. You guys don't want to do that. And then the other way beforehand that we would do this before our Trimmer by George tool came out is we would take a pair of scissors and just cut along there.
Mhm.
But honestly, same thing can happen. I don't want to remake a block.
No.
I don't like that. So enter Trimmer by George 3.0. This thing is awesome. If you guys have one of these and you love it, let us know in the comments because we love it and we hope you guys do too. This is our acrylic ruler. And then I'm going to try to slowly move this because I know my camera will focus different. You can see it's got that nice metal lip on the edge. And how this works is this will help you remove the bulk from the seam allowance while protecting the front of your block. So let's show you how to trim with this. I'm going to take that metal lip and kind of stand my trimmer up on its edge. I'll lift up on the fabric on the front of my block, and then I'm going to lay my Trimmer by George tool down. Now you do want to make sure that none of that fabric on the top of your block is peeking out right here. And then you can just give a little gentle tug on that Balizer to get your the metal part of the Trimmer by George as close as possible to your basting stitch. And you will want to have a 60 millimeter rotary cutter when you're trimming because there is a little extra height to your trimmer because of that metal lip. Okay, I'm going to do one more side. So stand it up on that metal edge, shimmy it underneath the fabric on the front of the block, and then lay it down. Just make sure that no fabric is peeking out. And then you can give a little gentle tug. And then with your 60 millimeter rotary cutter, trim away that bulk.
They love it. They love it.
Awesome. And I'll show you the back. Now, I always forget when I'm doing demos to use a dark colored fabric.
Yeah, you do use a lot of dark.
Well. So I apologize. I tend to gravitate toward lighter background fabrics here. But you can kind of see how that bulk has been removed. Mm-hmm. So when you're joining your blocks together, you don't have all of that Balizer or backing fabric in your seam allowances. So that's great. So that's how you use our Trimmer by George. And one more thing I wanted to talk about before jumping into pinning our blocks. If you trim each of your blocks about the same and with the same method, you'll typically end up with strips of Balizer that are about the same size. And what you can do is you can butt these strips of Balizer right up against each other. And then you can just use a neutral thread or a water-soluble thread, and you can do a zigzag stitch to stitch these together to make some frankenbat. And once you have frankenbat that's large enough to fit in your hoop, just hoop that and you can stitch another block right on top of that.
So because we have a lot of number ones,
yes,
can we also just talk about what Balizer is and the sizes that we have it in, the width of it? Because I know these are questions that I'm probably going to see in the comments.
Okay. Yes, Balizer is Hoop Sisters' batting and stabilizer product. And this was created so that you only have to hoop one product. When you go to stitch a block, just pop that Balizer in your hoop. There's no need for a stabilizer underneath it.
That's the part I really like too, is that it's one product. You don't have to add the other stuff.
And I just kind of want to show you how it moves, because it still moves very nicely after you stitch on it, but it has the scrim of stabilizer on the back of it. So it holds up nicely to dense stitching. Like in this block, you've got some satin stitching in this block. So it holds up nice to that, but it still gives your quilt movement after you're done stitching it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Someone on Facebook said they remember using credit card edges so that they would have a successful trim.
Nice.
I mean, you got to get creative, right?
Go.
But now there's the trimmer. You don't have to even do that.
Yes. Yes. And our Balizer comes in 5 yard, and it's 5 yard by 24 inches. Or 15-yard bolts by 24 inches. So it's great because across those 24 inches, you can typically, depending on what size block you're stitching, you can typically get 2 or 3 blocks maybe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Should I show them pinning?
Yes, let's move to pinning. Okay, so you got your bulk out of your seams.
Yes. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and trim these blocks up quickly. Trim the other sides of it. I know this one's a little messed up, but it's still good for the pinning demonstration.
Snow in New York. Ew.
Isn't it spring yet? I'm ready for spring.
In my head.
Okay. Set that over there. You know, I'm going to trim this one too. Sorry, I should have done that when I was trimming.
But then they get to see it work.
Yes. I'm sure this is much, much faster than using a credit card.
Yeah.
Okay. Got everything trimmed. Now that I've removed the bulk from there, now I'm in the center. Now that I've removed the bulk from my seams, I'm going to go ahead and turn my Trimmer by George tool over and just use the acrylic ruler side. And I'm trimming 1/4 inch from that basting stitch on all sides. And you will trim this way with blocks that have another block joined on each side. If it's the outside edge of your quilt, you'll want to follow your instructions and it will just tell you to trim 1/4 inch through all layers. A few more sides.
Handy dandy. You're flying through these.
I know, I'm trying to not make anyone wait on me. So again, I'm just trimming the top part of the block, the front of my block, 1/4 inch from that basting stitch. And you can see this is my block. Hopefully you can see that I messed up, but that's okay for the pinning demonstration. Okay. Now, if I wanted to join these two blocks together, and in some of the wall hangings that we show you shortly, you will have match points that are very obvious. So it'll be a little bit easier than these two blocks because these aren't really intended. They weren't designed to be stitched together, but it'll work great. So I'm going to show you 3 match points on this block. Oh, Aubrey's grabbing an invisible hair out of my hair.
Don't hurt my face.
I'll show you 3 match points on this block because that's your first step is you'll want to find your match points. So obviously our 2 corners are match points. And then I'm going to do the center for a match point on this block as well. Now, first, I'm going to take my blocks, put them right side together, and I'm going to take what I'll call an anchor pin.
That is a messed up pin.
You know what?
Don't worry
an
about
anchor
it,
pin.
That was a very
She's
curvy
teasing
pin.
me. I've used these for a few years.
I think you need new ones.
So you'll place your anchor pin directly through your block and then through that corresponding point on the other block. Now, hopefully you guys can see, I think it's better that way actually. It is just sticking straight through my block. I'm going to do the same thing at the other corner. So straight through my block and then straight through, and I'm putting these through right at that basting stitch. So I've got those 2 pins there. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a pin and I'm going to go through that seam allowance and then down into my block.
Kathy is with you. She said her pins look like that too. Sometimes the fabric's thick and she gets a bit aggressive.
Yeah. All right. So you can see I've got a pin that's coming down into my block and then my anchor pin. After I place my pin right next to my anchor pin and it's coming down into my block, I can remove that anchor pin. The only reason that anchor pin is there is to just keep your blocks from shifting as you're pinning down into them. Okay, so both my anchor points are gone. Now, if you have a block like this where you only have 2 actual match points on the corners, it doesn't hurt to take another anchor pin and go right through the basting stitch through both blocks. So I went through the basting stitch kind of in the center on my top block. And then I like to open this up a little and just make sure it's right at that basting stitch on my other block. So I've got a 3rd anchor pin. And then I'm going to go through the seam allowance and then down into my block and take that anchor pin out. I love this technique. This is great. If something that intimidates you is joining those blocks, try this technique because it is a lifesaver. And at this point, you would just go over to your machine and stitch right on that basting stitch. and then you can remove your pins as you go.
So you're working on a little 5-inch block, which is the
Yes.
smallest size we have.
Yes.
If you had a bigger block or a block with more match points, would you add more pins?
I would add a few more pins if I had, if I had either of those. A bigger block, you might add one more pin depending on the match points. If you have a lot of match points because of quilting, I would still pick maybe 3 or 4 and go with that. It really is. I would practice it and see kind of how many you need.
And what a great block to practice on.
Yes, absolutely.
So then you just go and stitch that down there.
Right
Okay.
on that basting stitch.
All right. So
I'm going to switch this out now.
yeah, I love that, Kathy. Kathy says, and we're going to show you a couple quilts. So she showed you kind of that trimming technique and pinning technique. Kathy, that's a great point too. She says, once you learn this technique, you'll find that you use it for a lot of quilting projects.
Awesome.
Which is fantastic. And we hear that about our Balizer and the trimmer too.
Yes.
So it's pretty cool. All right. So moving right along. Oh, you want to show it there? Okay, perfect.
We can hold it up in the.
No, it doesn't matter.
You lead the way. You tell me what to do.
I think I want to hold at least the first
Okay.
first one up so that they get the feel of the
Yes.
size. So we have a couple projects that are in the St. Patrick's Day tab on our website. In fact, if you want to drop that link now would be a great time. One of those projects is this, which is our shamrock. It's so cute. It's our 3-block wall hanging is what we call this. And we call it that because it really has made up of 1, 2, 3 blocks. This does require a 7-inch sewing field. So your hoop has to have 7 inches in there to do this particular project. But it's the same project, just different colorways.
Yep.
So I like that too, because you can kind of play with colors, even though it's the traditional shamrock, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so this is 20% off right now through the end of the week. So it's a really great time to do something. And we always say too, like that's a really cool little block to start with. This is a great beginner project too.
Yep.
So, and then this also has the cutest border blocks.
It is very cute.
They got the shamrocks around the edge. I also love that this kind of spills into the border. So right here, this would be a perfect point. These are where those blocks meet. This is the perfect kind of pinning technique that she just showed you. You're going to use that right there.
Yep.
Okay. You want to show those down there or up here?
Whatever you want.
I think either way.
Let's hold them up.
Okay. So we do have 2 sort of St. Patrick's Day things on the St. Patrick's Day tab. Nina just dropped the link, but we also did pop in, because it is Valentine's Day after all, bouquet of hearts. Why don't you talk about this? You designed it.
Yeah, so this is another, what we call our 3-block wall hanging. And that's one thing I love about these is you can just kind of interchange them. We have a ton of 3-block wall hangings that are seasonal and they're great. But it's just cute. It's got this little bouquet of applique hearts up here that are beautiful. And then just the stitch stems and then the bouquet bow, the applique bow. And then
it is a bouquet bow.
The border shows better on this one. It's just kind of a meandering ribbon, organza kind of ribbon that's going through the border. So it's really fun and festive.
Here's the back. I know a lot of times people like to see the back.
And this is, for all of these, you can just do a 1-piece backing. So after you get your blocks joined together, you can just cut your backing to the size that you need, which it tells you in the instructions. And then just follow those instructions to add that backing fabric.
Yes. Okay. So I want to just quickly go through this. I only have just a couple slides today, but we wanted to make sure that you guys knew that every design that is in the St. Patrick's Day tab on the website, which Nina posted the link for, is going to automatically be 20% off. So we have it set up so that once you add that to your cart, which I can take you guys to the website and show you too, it'll take 20% off the design. Okay. The other really cool thing that's going to happen is that block that Sarah just showed you is going to pop into your cart as a bonus for free. Did you catch that?
Love that.
So this is technically our 4th freebie that we are giving away. This one, you have to get it with the design, and so cute. So it's a really great place to start. If you're new, if you dropped a 1 in the comments, this is a perfect way to begin because you're getting the 20% off the design and you're getting that little Lucky Charm bonus automatically for free. Okay. If you see a question in there that we should answer, let me know.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to go to this camera right here.
Sure.
Someone said, do you start stitching at the basting stitch or the edge of the material?
Oh, good question.
I know this camera is going to change focus.
Do you want to point with this?
Yeah. Okay, so that means do you start stitching right here at the basting stitch or right here at the edge of the material? So what I would do is I would start at the basting stitch, and then you can back it up a stitch or two, and then you can go forward down the basting stitch and stop just maybe I'm off the camera. Maybe stop a stitch or two after that basting stitch. It just really helps lock it in when you're starting.
Mm-hmm. Good question.
Yes.
All right. So you can definitely get one of those designs that we showed you 20% off, plus you'll get that free Lucky Charm block bonus. Now we want to talk to you guys.
Oh, I see another question.
Yeah.
What is masterclass about?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about now. So that's perfect. Perfect segue. So we do like to do workshops. So these are basically free events that you can come to virtually. We do typically they're 2 days long, and it's just a really great way for you to learn the Hoop Sisters technique. So masterclass is our next workshop. So we actually are doing this one on February 22nd and 23rd. I think you should talk about specifically who this is for.
Yes.
We're not going to get into all the details on this, but when you come to the 2-day workshop, we're going to unveil some really cool things.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about.
Yeah. So we are very excited for masterclass. So masterclass this year. Now, if you were here a year ago, we kind of did the introductory version of this. This is still that introductory version with a brand new design that no one's ever seen before. So we're very excited to unveil this next Thursday. But masterclass is essentially comprised of 4 different classes where you are going to get private live instruction. It is virtual. And we are going to walk through the ins and outs of Hoop Sisters and Quilt in the Hoop and everything that you need to know. So this is really for, if you put a 1 in the comments and you are brand new, this is for you. Or if you are like Ellen, who I know said hi.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's
Ellen's going to want it too.
Yes. And you've done a ton of Hoop Sisters projects and you are just a Hoop Sister fanatic. This is for you too, because I really think you're going to love the design that is paired with this year.
Yeah. So we want you to register for this. In fact, Nina, if you could drop this link too, that would be great. We want you to register for this. And when you register to join the masterclass, I'm going to see if I can do this. You want to show them what they're going to get?
Yeah. So this is your little freebie that you'll get. It's just a cute little bookmark. And which way do I need to go? It's very fun. So if you've been around here a little bit, you kind of know that our freebies are kind of a little slight glimpse into the design.
They coordinate a little bit.
So cute little bookmarks that are so easy to stitch. Any of you can do it, I promise. And next Wednesday, I'm going to be stitching this out with you guys. And we'll talk a little more about masterclass as well.
100%. And the registration is now open. So what that means is you register just letting us know that you plan to attend. You automatically get that free gift bookmark. You'll get an email that has a link to it, and you'll have a link that you can click on after registering. It'll download to your computer. So you can get started playing with that right away. And all you're saying is, hey, I'm kind of curious. I want to know more about what this masterclass is. You join us day 1, February 22nd, live like you are now. And we're going to stitch out a block. We're going to reveal the project to you and give you all the particulars. And then at that point, you can choose, do I want to do this with them? Do I want to join? You don't have to, or you can, it's up to you, but, free gift, and we're going to walk you through the process. So I think it's going to be really, really nice.
And I see Nancy, hello, Miss Nancy, is asking, when is the masterclass? So we're not going to give you dates quite yet. We will reveal dates of all of those live classes to you next Thursday when we show you the design, and we'll give you a lot more information then. But just, I think it's fun. I would highly encourage you to sign up for that workshop, because if you've attended one of our workshops before, you know there's a lot of value in just those alone. And the master class is even more in depth. It's really fun.
It is. And we're going to go into all the details. Plus, you'll have special pricing if you order it during the workshop. But we'll talk about all of that then. Just know you can register now for free, get the bookmark gift for free, and then join us for that workshop. So, but for right now, really, we'd love for you to jump over to the website, get your 20% off. In fact, I want to take you guys, before we do the giveaway, which we're going to do in just a moment, the keyword is lucky. But I want to.
And I saw a question. So the workshop itself is free. Just register for that. It doesn't cost you anything. We'll just kind of give you a little glimpse into what that masterclass will be like. Obviously, if you're interested in the masterclass and the design, that does have a price point on it. But I think you'll really love it for everything that you get. There's a lot of value to it. But the workshop, again, is free. So just go ahead and register.
Okay. So I've got you over here on the website because I want to show you where to shop the things that we've shown you today. If you can't tell, you can just click right here and it will take you over to the St. Patrick's Day tab of the website. You can scroll down. The designs will go into your cart at 20% off. The tools will not, but the designs will. And then it will also pop in that adorable little Lucky Charm block if you add one of the designs. So adding the design, you get a great price on it, plus the freebie. The other thing I put in here is that you can just register for the master class right here as well. So you just have to go one place. It's also under the menu if you go over here, but I'm trying to make it simple. So you have one link and you can go and get all that done, and the opportunity to snag 2 freebies today. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
All right, I'm going to do our giveaway. All right, so one last chance to type the word lucky in the comments, and you'll be added to the drawing. And we're going to do $20 in store credit today, just because we like giving stuff away. All right, I'm going to share that screen. And we'll get it going. Okay, so I've got 122 of you in here now. So again, the keyword is lucky. You can see it there on the screen. And I'm going to hit the button. We're going to pick a winner. And whoever's name it stops on, you're going to have $20 in store credit. You can go spend anytime you want. So.
Awesome.
Elaine Wendell, congratulations.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Elaine's watching over on YouTube. So Elaine, what you're going to want to do is, I'm going to pop Nina's information up on the bottom of the screen here. So basically just email Nina, let her know that you are the winner, and then that way she can put it in your account at hoopsisters.com, and you will have $20 to spend on the website. So congratulations. And if anybody has any specific questions, you can also contact Nina at the phone number and email address on the screen, and she will be glad to help you out. Or get Sarah if it's a design that's there, but she can do it. It's amazing.
She knows everything.
I don't. She's on it. So we will get you taken care of either way. But thank you for joining us. Join us next Wednesday at the same time, and Sarah's going to stitch out the free gift, which, by the way, registration for Masterclass closes on Thursday, the 22nd at noon. So you only have a limited time to grab that stuff. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day.
And St. Patrick's Day. Bye.
Bye.